A reason not to buy is if you actually don't have enough to buy an A-grade property in the location that you want to buy. And now you might be a little bit flexible on location and might be able to sort of move that 3P mix around a little bit in terms of property and position. For those of you who've done the Where to Buy workshop, you'll know what I'm talking about there. But if you don't have enough to buy an A-grade property in the location that you are quite set on and you're not prepared to compromise on location, then you really need to think very hard about whether you should be buying at all, because one of the things that we get asked a lot is, well, if I buy in a prestige or a better quality suburb, isn't it a fair enough compromise to buy on a main road or in a property that floods or backing onto the train line or right next to the school? And there are very, very few, like there's an exception to every rule, but there are very, very, very few cases where you could say that location on its own will trump property in terms of getting the balance right and what the right compromises are. Whilst location does a lot of the heavy lifting, and I think we talk about the 80-20 rule, location will do a lot of the heavy lifting, but suburb in and of itself is not location. Street, side of the street, all of those things come into location as well. So main road, adjoining commercial, schools, flood, train lines, these are all compromised sort of positions that make an A-grade suburb not an A-grade property or position within a suburb.
And it doesn't have to be, I mean, Megan did use the word prestige there. It doesn't actually have to be prestige.
Fair point.
There are, I'm only because I know people go, oh, A-grade, I can't afford that. That's like a mansion in Toorak. It's
point.
Like, no, we're not talking about that.
A-grade is in all price points.
Yeah. And there's loads of suburbs in all sorts of cities. And then you've got to think about scarcity. And then we bang on about scarcity all the time and oversupply. And so there are suburbs where really I wouldn't buy anything in the suburb, basically where there's a new subdivision where all the houses are exactly the same, Don't go there. Don't buy in a big high-rise apartment block where all the properties are exactly the same, So
there's a few more complexes to be built.
There are, and a few more suburbs to be subdivided. So you've got to be. So A-grade comes down to avoiding those sorts of situations as well.